Yes, we do raise money for the JEC, and that's one of my primary jobs, but I'm very proud of it. I have the honor of calling up our next honoree tonight, Student of the Year. And sometimes with honorees, it's fairly obvious which rabbi should call them up. Now, we have 6 rabbis on staff, which means a lot of different relationships, and there's overlap, and sometimes there's not. Very rarely do we have a student who is so close that every single rabbi and their wives on staff that really anyone could call that person up. Pam and her family are those students. I'm certainly overjoyed that I have the merit of calling up Pam. Over the 3 years working as a co-director of the JEC, I've seen Pam move really only one direction in her Judaism, and that's upwards. Not only is she growing in her Judaism, but for those who are involved with her personally, she serves really as a guiding light for all of us, how a person can handle adversity and still succeed and shine. She doesn't let life's challenges stop her from meeting her goals. So Pam, as one of your many rabbis of the JEC, an honorary family member and friend, it is my pleasure to present you with the Student of the Year award. It appears that the Hills took your award and then up there's up here. The Jewish Education Center of South Florida proudly presents the 2014 Student of the Year Award to Pam Tucker in recognition of her commitment and dedication to Jewish learning and living. Presented at the JEC 9th anniversary.
I am truly honored to be standing here tonight in front of all of you. When the rabbis came to me and asked me to speak at this dinner as Student of the Year, and that I was going to be honored, I thought, what did I do, and did they pick the right person? See, I had a great track record with this dinner. In 2012, the day before the dinner, I got in a pretty major car accident. And last year, before the dinner, I came down with the flu. So I'm assuming that they figured that the only way to guarantee me being here was my journey with the JEC began in 2011. I was working at Flora Academy and was sharing with a dear colleague, Dina Gutman, my dilemma of not having my then 12-year-old in Hebrew school and not knowing what I was going to do to get him to be a bar mitzvah in the next year. She told me I needed to call Rabbi Bill Cash. I told her that at the time I did not have the money to send my boys to Hebrew school, and she said, just call him. When I called the rabbi, I humbly explained my financial predicament, and he told me to bring the boys to Hebrew school that following Sunday, and that I should join them and attend the parents' class. That phone call opened the door to a wonderful journey of Judaic studies, spirituality, and community for both my children and me. The JEC became an integral part of our lives. I had taught in Jewish preschools for a number of years and had attended a conservative Hebrew school and synagogue beyond my bat mitzvah age. The teachings from the rabbis and the speakers that they bring to us every Sunday touches each of us at the most basic human level. They are not rabbis that stand above or apart from those of us that are less religious. They are real, relatable, and open to our questions and life concerns as they relate to Judaism, family, and everyday events. I have always found that the topics in Torah teachings are divinely relevant to what's happening in my life at any given moment. Each of the rabbis and their wives have made meaningful and permanent impacts on my Jewish journey and that of my children. I want to tell you a little bit about each of these rabbis what they mean to me. Rabbi Wilpatch was my first introduction to the JEC. His warmth and patience with the children and their parents is insurmountable. He spent countless hours getting Noah prepared for his bar mitzvah. When I wasn't sure that there was any way that we would pull all the preparation together, his calm nature and constant reassurance more than settled my nerves. Rabbi Eisenberg, I don't even know where any of you are. Rabbi Eisenberg is like a brother to me, and so relatable to my boys. He is my go-to rabbi. I can talk to him about anything and have woken him up numerous times. He was the rabbi that facilitated a major career change for me, and I am eternally grateful. I have spent countless hours on the phone with him discussing life. While he may be young, his wisdom is ageless. Rabbi Fetter. Rabbi Fetter is a strong, silent constant. I had the honor of teaching one of his children, and he has spent much time counseling me and my boys. I can discuss any and all parenting issues with him without judgment. Rabbi Weiss. Rabbi Weiss is kind and funny and caring. His honesty and vulnerability about life situations and the perplexity of understanding Hashem's lessons makes him so relatable and easy to share with. His patience with a group of boys he teaches every Sunday deserves special recognition. Preteen boys are not easy, to say the least, mine being two of them. Rabbi Light, I know I saw you. Rabbi Light walked into the JCC and was a strong and undeniable fixture from day one. His knowledge and approachability makes learning easy and enjoyable. When I admitted that I had been civilly divorced for years but I never received a get, he was instrumental in arranging that for me and made the experience a healing and beautiful one. Rabbi Goldstein. Rabbi Goldstein undoubtedly has a following of college students. While I have not had the opportunity to spend as much time with him, I envy those students and the opportunity that he and the JCC is offering to today's youth. This did not exist when I was in college, and truly believe that it would have been a different journey for me had it existed. The JEC is more than simply an outreach program to educate unaffiliated Jews in South Florida. It is a community and a safe haven for me and others. They are more than simply rabbis. They are friends and family. My children and I have not only been involved in the Hebrew school, I have had the honor of attending evening history classes and Hebrew learning and ladies' night. My sons have attended both Nagila Boca and the Nagila Midwest sleepaway camp. We have spent many Shabbos and holidays with the rabbis and their families. We attend the high holiday services, and I have been studying for the past several months through Partners in Torah, which was presented to me by the JEC rabbis. I also just recently had the pleasure of attending this year's spirituality retreat, and God willing, I will be on a women's trip to Israel this summer. I plan on many more memories with the JEC rabbis and their families. These rabbis are truly amazing, and the JEC is a unique organization. Their efforts to continue to educate comes not only from Torah study and doing mitzvot, but from their love of what they do and who they are to the core. Please join me in acknowledging the real honorees of this evening, the rabbis of the JEC.
Thank you very much, Pamela. It's very moving. When I first moved to Florida to assist convinced Rabbi Feder to run into JEC, one of the most basic things that I needed at that point was to take care of my family by getting them medical insurance. I called a friend who referred me to Brian Gately. Brian was really helpful. He set us up with a temporary plan until my wife's insurance from work kicked in. So we decided to have coffee and get to know each other a little better. We met for coffee early one morning, and in comes Brian to Starbucks with his usual smile and warmth, so excited to see me. And I couldn't help but think, isn't it a little early to be so happy? But that's all I ever really see from Brian and his wife Louise. Smiles, warmth, and happiness. They are two of the most well-liked, popular people I've ever met, and deservedly so. They are a couple that has the ability to unify all types of Jews because of the natural love they have for everybody. Rabbi Gibber and I were speaking about the Galeys the other day, and he had absolutely wonderful things to say about them. He described them as a source of inspiration for the entire community. He said they have an unquenchable thirst for chesed, kindness, and Torah learning. Tonight, you will likely hear from Brian a little bit about the famous Brian and movie story. But Rabbi Gibber said the real inspiration that Brian and Movie provide is not so much about the story they'll tell you about, but about the story they continue to write. And it's a story of amazing growth in Torah and in kindness and in community and all the wonderful things that we value as Jews. It is certainly my pleasure to present the Jewish Unity Award to Brian and Movie Gately this evening. I want to call on Brian and their children to join Rabbi Feder and I on stage as we present you with the JEC Ambassador of the Jewish Unity Award. South Florida proudly presents the 2014 Jewish Unity Award to Brian and Movie Gately in recognition of their commitment and dedication to Jewish community and outreach. Presented at the JEC 9th Annual Dinner, March 23rd, 2014.
Thank you, everyone, very much. I just want to give a shout out to Rabbi Gibber, Rabbi Eisenberg, Rabbi Feder, and I just want to, where's Rabbi Stuhlberger? Rabbi Stuhlberger? Did you step out? Because see, here in the East Coast, when somebody from the West Coast comes to our backyard to tell a joke, we feel like we have to give it back. So I have an East Coast joke for the West Coast guy. He's not in the room? All right, so those are affiliated with the West Coast. On some level, Rabbi Light, you're going to have to get the joke. You're going to have to relate it to him next time you see him. 6:30 in the morning on Shabbos. Husband and the wife wake up. The wife says, "Get up, go to shul." I don't want to go to shul. Get up and go to shul. That's what a Jewish man does. Get up and go to shul. Why should we go to shul? I don't like the congregants. I don't like the sermon. I don't like the service. I don't like anything about it. I'm not going. Give me one good reason I should go. She says, "You're the rabbi. Now get up and go to shul." East Coast. I couldn't let him come in here and stomp on our territory, right? So that's off the distinguished rabbis, friends, and guests. Louis and I are very honored to receive this honor. I know many of you, I don't know how many of you remember the Jewish comedian Yaakov Smirnoff, but he used to have a saying. When he would say a joke, he'd say, "What a comedy!" Remember? Well, I don't know. I mean, I've been Jewish a few years. I'm already getting honored for major dinner. What a religion! Right? Moving on again. Mr. Farley Weiss, please stand up for a second. This is the gentleman that insisted that I do that joke. He's right here. So if it worked, it's mine. If it didn't, it's yours. You know, some of you, most of you in this room know Booby and I's story, but Booby and I met when I was working for Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, Ocean Rescue Divisions. And during that time, I dealt with all types of situations. I've had to swim out and rescue people from helicopters that crashed in the ocean. I've pulled people off of burning boats. But my greatest accomplishment in my life was meeting my wife, Booby. We started dating, and to make a long story very, very short, we were married in December of 2000. One day I came home from work, and Booby was dressed so beautifully. As you can see, she can do that. And the house smelled just like Shabbos, and the house was cleaner than it's ever been. And I said, what's the special? What's going on? What's happening? It's Tuesday. It's not Shabbos. It's not what... She said, Brian, it's Shavuos. Today's Shavuos. It's a very special day. When I saw the excitement in her eyes, something inside me woke up, and I knew I had to get... I knew that if I was going to get the most out of my wife in my marriage, it had to be within the foundations of Judaism. When we were expecting our first daughter, I remember Booby being so unbelievably thrilled, yet somehow distant. After some coaxing, she admitted to me. The joke was, oh, you said something. After some coaching, she admitted to me that she couldn't help but feel sad about the idea that she was about to have her first child, and their husband wasn't Jewish. The days of a carefree romance and extended honeymoon are over, and real life had begun. I committed to Booby that day that I would begin to learn. It was a long road with many hills and valleys, but I finally did convert. 3 days after my conversion, we got married again. We were married secularly the first time. In a Jewish wedding conducted by Rabbi Goldberg in the Boca Raton Synagogue, and 300 people showed up on 3 days' notice. Hunter, you may remember this. The kids got a big kick out of me sleeping on the floor in their room while observing the laws of Yichud during the days we weren't married collectively over my Jewish law. We are now the proud parents of 5 kids. Hunter, 11. Katie, 10. She just turned 6. We have Joey, Shem and Yosef. And we have Ricky, who's 1. Every Shabbat afternoon, our daughters demand that we visit the nursing home near our home. Recently, we met a survivor of Auschwitz. She's 92 years old, and until the kids discovered her, no one in the community knew that she was even there. So the day after Shabbos, on Sunday, we went back to the nursing home, but first we went to Kosher Marketplace, bought a bunch of Ashkenazi food and we went over there and we stuffed her refrigerator full of kosher food. You know, the first Jew, Abraham Avinu, displayed amazing hesed to everyone. He was the first to ever do outreach with his wife Sarah. Moshe intervened in 3 altercations that did not even involve him. The first was to save a Jew from an Egyptian, the second to bring peace between 2 Jews fighting, and the third to help women get water from a well. Moshe cared about others, like Abraham and Sarah, and that's why they are our leaders. The JEC is an organization that spends their time caring about their fellow Jews also, many of which have never had the opportunity to learn about their heritage. The JEC not only teaches children, but assists that their parents stay during the same time to learn the same things that the children are learning at the same time. So when they drive home in the car, it's reinforced more. It's a brilliant strategy. This dinner is an opportunity for us to help them, help us as Jews. We are losing our fellow Jews to assimilation every day. Just like when Booby's father used to call her and bench her every Friday afternoon before Shabbos, Whether or not knowing what we were keeping Shabbos, not knowing what we were doing at the time, for years this guy called and benched his daughter every week, even when she was detached from her Judaism. So is the JEC right now reaching out to you, persistently, consistently, and with purpose. Hashem has blessed us all, everyone in this room. We happen to live in a place that provides us with the opportunity to be who we are and to practice our religion without fear. This is not a guarantee. This can be taken from us in an instant. So keep watch. Our strength is our Torah and our numbers, and we cannot allow one single Jew to slip through the cracks. It's vital. This is why Hoopy and I see the work being done here at the JEC is perhaps the most important work that can be done as Jews, perpetuating Judaism itself. So please remember what's at stake here and who's doing something about it. It's the way forward. It is the JEC that's doing something about it. I want to thank Hoopy's family, Chuck Zeta Klein, and his beautiful wife, Dorothy, and of course, Hoopy's dad, Shelly. By the way, in the beginning, we were a little hesitant to develop a relationship with me, but it's gotten better. Hoopy's mom, Debbie, who had to leave early tonight, who is our children's Bobby, and drives from Miami Beach every Sunday to play and do crafts with our children. And a special thank you to my dad and mom, Jerry and Karen. Who are unconditionally supportive, in spite of not really understanding all I do or why I do it. And the phone silence on Saturday, 20 minutes after a call, like, hey guys, how are you? Where you been all day? Thank you very much to everyone. On behalf of Hoopy and myself and our family, thank you for this great honor.
We have a very quick surprise award. There won't be a speech attached because it's a surprise to those people as well. For many years, whenever the JEC, which is housed out of a small house, had a larger class, especially Rabbi Light's Tuesday evening classes, or a Maimonides graduation celebration for the college students, we always were able to turn to our friends at the Torah Academy. They always opened up their building with welcome arms. The chesed, the kindness that they extended, and being part and parcel with our mission of helping reach out to our brothers and sisters at the same time. I'd like to call upon Rabbi Bauman and Rabbi Feinberg to come on stage and accept this. I met Joy just 4 years ago, Erev Shabbos, at a political rally here in Boca Raton. That means for those who are Shabbos observant, we turn into pumpkins at sundown. And to my wife's credit, she let me go. Joy immediately took to the JC and our mission. Her motto is, we need to keep the next generation Jewish. There's a famous Orach Chaim on the Torah that explains the reason why Hashem didn't evenly distribute wealth amongst all people, thereby having no poor people and no wealthy people. He says that God wanted to give merit to wealthy to help their less fortunate brothers and sisters. This concept holds true as well by important organizations that do vital work. Hashem didn't just want to give them all the necessary funds, but rather wanted them to struggle so they would go out there and share their message with others. If we are doing outreach and providing education as so many others and connecting them to Judaism, a person who hears about it and the need and gets involved merits as if they taught Torah as well. So many times I bumped into people from JFS, Jewish Federation, where they knew who I was and how the JEC does great work. This is all because of Joy. Joy has always credited her charity, her acts of kindness, care, and concern for the Jewish community to her husband, Gene. She always says that without his support, I couldn't have accomplished even a fraction of what I have and what I'm still involved in. I would like to call on Joy to say a few words.
For about the 5th time, but I'd like to really learn it. He said, I got just the person for you. Fessel Goldstein and I began a journey learning Hebrew. Every Monday morning, I would go to her home. She'd have tea and cookies, and we would learn Hebrew. She was 9 months pregnant, and I said, how much maternity leave are you going to take? And she said, what's maternity leave? She says, I'll be home for 1 week, and then you'll come back. So from then on, we would have our lessons, and she would hold the baby, and if she got fussy, then I would hold the baby. It was the most unusual Hebrew school I ever attended, and I did learn Hebrew. I became more interested in the Jewish Education Center when I look at my own family. They are all married to Jewish people. They live all over the country. Will their children marry Jewish people? I don't know. And the big buzzword today in the Jewish community is leave a legacy. Who are we going to leave a legacy for if people like the JEC don't keep Jewish children Jewish? It's a big challenge. Most of you have heard about the Pew survey that was done and the research that's been done by Quinnipiac and other places that show so many Jews marry non-Jews, and when they do, they don't raise their children Jewish. And that would be a terrible, terrible shame. Just today on the internet, there was a little blurb that the last remaining 618 identifiable Norwegian Jews are leaving the country. They are literally being forced to leave the country. What happened all those years ago is happening again. And if we don't have a strong Jewish population, we're going to be condemned to repeat what happened before. So it is important that you support the Jewish Education Center because this is the work that they're doing. They're reaching out to young people. I went to the Hebrew school, and I got those kids involved in a food drive for the Jacobson Food Pantry. And these kids want to do, they just need to be led. And that is what the Jewish Education Center is doing. And on a personal note, if it were not for my husband, I probably could not have become involved with the Jewish Education Center. He backs me and backed me in everything I've ever done. And for that, I really do appreciate him. Unfortunately, he did pass last year, but not before he knew what I had done and what I continue to do and will continue to do. I want to thank all of you who came here tonight for the Jewish Education Center, for me, the tribute to my husband, and please continue to support the Jewish Education Center Together, all of us can keep Jewish children Jewish. Thank you.
Please turn your attention to the video monitor.
Smile, guys, smile.
My husband Jane, Howard,